Welcome to another handy lesson. In today's video, we're going to talk about the silent way. The silent way is one of the most successful ELT methodologies, as it is based on a cognitivist and constructivist approach of learning. And also, it aims to have students work on their accuracy in grammar and pronunciation. The silent way was created by Caleb Gattegno. And Originally, this methodology was meant to teach any kind of subjects, not only second language, but generally everything, because its aim is to produce autonomous and responsible learners. However, it was noticed that the methodology will fit perfectly into the second language teaching. One of the main techniques of the silent way is the fact that the teacher should be silent most of the time. So you might say, well, how can you teach a language when the teacher is silent? Well, the premise is that the teacher should provide students with all the resources that they need so they can start producing the language on their own. So the teacher is going to lead the students to find all type of resources, and then they are going to find out a way to produce their own skills. And in that way, the teacher is only leading rather than instructing or giving information. That's the main point. So this is why in your document, it says that teaching should be subordinated to learning, because you as a teacher will require to find the proper material according to the content that you want your students to learn. Okay, one of the most recognizable and relevant techniques of the silent way is the technique called the Cuisenaire rod, meaning that the teacher is going to bring series of sticks, colored sticks, and he's going to assign a sound, well, an item to each color. For example, if you want to teach pronunciation, you're going to have different colors sticks, and each color is going to have a sound. For example, the green color is going to be the sound S, and the red color is going to be the sound A. So, well, on the camera, it looks blue, so I'm going to call it blue. The blue color is attached to the sound S, and the red color is attached to the sound A. So all you got to do is show the different colors in sequence, and the students are going to produce A in order to say the word say. Okay, so in the very beginning of the lessons, the teacher should invest time on assigning the Cuisenaire rod colors and teach students what they mean. Later on, it's just going to show the colors, and students will produce according to the meaning. You can follow that technique in many different ways. You can apply it with different approaches, and your creativity has to be in this moment. For example, you can come up, instead of sticks with colors, you can bring boxes, colored boxes, and each box is going to contain flashcards or cutouts of parts of a speech. So the red box will be attached to nouns. The blue box is going to be attached to verbs. The yellow box is going to be attached to adjectives, and so on. Then you store the boxes all around the classroom, and all you got to do is to write on the board different colors. Just make some drawings with colors, and the students will have to understand that they have to follow that order with the words, so they can start producing their own language skills. That is how the silent way main technique works. So the learning hypothesis says is that learning is facilitated when the learners discover and create knowledge rather than only remembering and memorizing. When they discover it and create it for their own purpose, it is the moment when they are actually growing in knowledge. Okay, so this is why it's a constructivist theory, because students construct their own knowledge. But the main goal of the silent way is to produce autonomous and responsible learners, which we are going to talk in the next lesson, fostering learners' autonomy. But what you must note now is that the fact that the silent way says that the teacher should be silent most of the time is because he's going to lead the students to be aware of their own weaknesses in knowledge, and also start constructing and looking up the information they require, so they can grow their knowledge and become autonomous and responsible learners. The objectives of learning says here the general goal set for language learning is near native fluency. So it aims for accuracy. The methodology requires the students to reach a really high level of a language. Okay, so the teacher should give them only what they absolutely need to promote their learning. So the teachers need to be really focused on what he wants the students to learn, so that students become independent by relying on themselves and not on what the teacher says. In the silent way, it says there is a basically structural syllabus with lessons plans. There is an order to follow because all the material needs to be pre-planned and pre-selected so the teacher can lead the students in a better way. Okay, so that's basically what the syllabus is. The role of the learner. Well, the learners are expected to develop independency, autonomy, and responsibility. An autonomous learner chooses proper expressions in a given set of circumstances. Okay, so as there is not too much correction, students need to develop their own criteria so they can compare themselves with the resources they are finding, so they can find and they can also become aware. This is a metacognition exercise. They should become aware of their own needs in the language. And that is how they are going to grow in their knowledge. Okay, the role of a teacher then is that of a prompter, organizer, leader, and planner, and of course, an observer and a monitor. He needs to lead the students to become autonomous and responsible. So the teacher requires to be really patient and a good strategist, planner, so he can reach the main objectives. So this is the silent way. And there are the references as usual. And I'll see you in the next lesson.